Greetings. This is the third part, a three-part series on managing documents in Microsoft Office SharePoint. In this third part, we're going to look at InfoPath and how to get an InfoPath form working within the browser. Okay, so first let's do a couple of checks on our SharePoint environment to make sure it's ready to provide us with the functionality that's needed to show these forms in the browser. So let's go to our central admin. We'll go to the Application Management tab. We'll scroll down and we have this InfoPath Forms Services section. So what we need to do here is let's click on Configure InfoPath Forms Services, and you want to make sure both of these two top check boxes are checked. Okay, after you do that, we can scroll down, leave everything else default, and let's say OK. Okay, now we're ready to design our form. So let's go ahead and open up InfoPath. And we'll say design a form template. Blank is fine. Make sure this enable browser compatible features only is checked. Say OK. Okay, now we'll just design a simple form here. Call this in vehicle seat test request form. Okay, we'll add some controls. We'll use a layout table to do this. We'll say 4 by 4. Okay, and customer, just add some fields here. Contact name, contact phone, number, and contact email. Okay, so let's go with date, engineer, and sales person. Okay, let's make it look a little better here. Let's write justify, it's bold. Same thing here. Write justify, bold. It's a little bigger here. Okay. Now let's drag some controls out. So come over to your tasks pane, click on controls. Let's pull out the text box. Now, anytime you're doing this in a real world situation, you're going to want to come in here, go to properties, and you're going to want to give this a meaningful name. Text customer. And you'll see why that is a little later in this tutorial. So we won't worry about doing that on the rest of these. Okay, we'll use a date picker for the date. Okay, so there's a very simple form that we can publish to the web. Of course, something that you're probably going to use in a real world situation is going to be a little more complicated than this, but I think you get the idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish this to our SharePoint. So let's go to SharePoint, make sure we're on the home for the root of the site collection. Let's copy the URL out. Let's come back over to our InfoPath form. Let's go ahead and say publish to SharePoint server. Okay, paste that in. Okay, let's make sure that this enable this form to be filled out as checked in document library. Okay, we'll leave this at default. And we'll say form doc lib for the name. Next. Now here's where naming your controls properly would come in handy. If you wanted to show additional metadata in the document library, you could add it here. And again, you don't really know what these are, especially when you have a lot of them. So we won't add anything today though. So let's go ahead and click on next and say publish. Okay, we're going to click on that open form in browser. We're going to highlight this. We're going to copy that for later use. And we can enter some data here. Let's check date. Okay, now we can say go ahead and close. Let's go ahead and close that. Now what we can also do is here in our links, so what we just copied out, let's paste it in there. Let's say InfoPath Form browser. Okay. So if we go to view all site content, we can see here is our form doc lib. Here's our ASDF that we just put in. If you wanted to edit this in the browser, you have edit in browser. And then if we go back to our home, if you want to fill out another form, go ahead and click on that link. Do ASDF2. Date. Save. ASDF2. Okay. Let's go back to the root. Okay. And if we go back to view all site content, we can see in our form doc lib that we have ASDF and ASDF2. This is the end of this three-part series. I hope it gave you a good introduction on what you can do with documents, electronic signatures, and InfoPath. There's a lot more literature out there on the web. I implore you to investigate. Thank you very much.